Hey, Captain Ross Robertson with Big Water Fishing. You know, catfishing is a great thing to do when you're trying to stay out of the wind like we are today. Maybe you're taking kids fishing, or just, they bite all the time when other species maybe are being a little finicky. Really, catfishing, you can make it as fancy or as simple as you want, but it starts with boat control. And so a lot of the stuff that you may use for your bass fishing, walleye fishing, or other things are going to come into play. So I've got my Minn Kota Ultrex here using the spot lock feature instead of an anchor is really nice, not having to lug that thing up and down. And then really one of my favorite things, I've actually added an additional one, is I've got two talons back here, and these go down 15 feet. And because I have two, they're going to pin me exactly in place without any moving or pivoting around. So that's going to replace an anchor in a lot of circumstances for me, and we can just go up or down by tapping a button here. So it makes it a lot easier to not get lazy and, force yourself to kind of move around when you're not catching fish. And that boat control is going to lead you to the presentation. And really, again, you can get as fancy or simplistic as you want with this. I'm just using some bass rods. This is actually a crankbait rod because it's going to be more moderate. It's going to have more give to it like a lot of the catfish rods do. So you don't have to really get a separate rod to do this. The other thing I like is I like a high-vis line. I actually alternate on some of my other rods because if we are dead sticking 4, 5, 6 lines, if they do get tangled, when they get tangled, then you can actually see which one is which to get them untangled. I also like to have some with braid and some with mono. Some days I just seem to get a lot more bites on one versus the other. The big thing with the braid is make sure you don't set the hook too fast. Let that thing really load up, and that's where that kind of more moderate or softer rod comes into play. And the rig that I'm using is basically like a Carolina rig with a few little modifications to it. So we've got our main line here, and instead of having the sinker on the line, we've got it on a little swivel, a little saltwater style clip here. And that's going to allow me to put a bead on there to a little VMC swivel. And that's going to allow me to change that sinker out and also take it off when I'm traveling or in the garage so they don't bang those things up. And you're going to want to look for a sinker that has some flat sides to it so that it doesn't roll in the current. Now, if you've got a bunch of those round sinkers, just take a old flat hammer in the driveway and smash them down. But these little pyramids or pancake sinkers work really well. And then we're going to go to, I would say, anywhere, and vary this leader length because it really does seem to matter a little bit at times. From 1 to 3 feet, I'm using 25-pound, and you can actually even go a little heavier to eliminate retying. 25-pound P-line Shinsei fluorocarbon. And then I'm down to a tiny little VMC. I think this one's a 1/0. It's a circle hook. So the big thing with the circle hook, these are nice when you're going to release the fish and you don't want to gut hook them, but you're going to have to just reel. Don't set the hook and let them take it, and then they'll be hooked right in the corner of the mouth. Now, when we're actually trying to keep these fish or you're having trouble getting them sticked, a little VMC, little wide gap hook like this, kind of a kale style looking hook, that's a really good hook in order to keep some of those things on. So depending on what you're using for bait, whether it's shrimp, hot dogs even, whatever it may be, vary that hook size and type. But little kind of modified Carolina rig is going to catch you more catfish this summer and really above and beyond.